Oh, you can see it here also. Oh, here is Devi Prana. Yeah.
You have to wave up here, Swami.
Oh, wave here. Oh. Shall we start? Whenever we are ready. They are asking for Braja Prana. Did you see? Ah, good. Good, good, all of it. Okay, let us start. Om Tab Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kabibhiriditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Srimadatam Bhuvi Grinanti Ye Bhurida Janaha Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. O Lord, your gospel is like nectar and bliss, suffered upon, offered against the pain-stricken lives of suffering humanity. It dispels all misdeeds from life, and it brings spiritual beauty, prosperity and grace upon one who listens to the holy words. They are the real givers in the world who preach and pronounce the message of the nectar of supreme bliss by this reading of this gospel. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto us all. So, we'll read from the gospel. Wherever is the mark, no? But I can start, no? Okay, something else here.
We kind of stopped at random. I think we can start right there or right here.
Oh.
Huh?
Seen or ego. 863.
Yeah, 863.
Okay, yeah, a little this way, that way.
Yeah.
Okay. So we see that we are, Sri Ramakrishna is at Shampukur and is talking to Dr. Mahendra. And here, doctor says that it is not proper for a father to hold his child by the hands. Master said, it is not quite like that. Great sages have childlike natures. Before God, they are always like children. They have no pride. Their strength is the strength of God, the strength of their Father. They have nothing to call their own. They are firmly convinced of that. Doctor, can you make a horse move forward without first covering his eyes with blinkers? Can one realize God without first controlling the passion? Master, what you say is according to the path of discrimination. It is known as Jnana Yoga. Through the path, too, one attains God. The Jnanis say that an aspirant must first of all purify his heart. First he needs spiritual exercises, then he will attain knowledge. But God can also be realized through the path of devotion. Once the devotee develops love for the lotus feet of God and enjoys the singing of his name and attributes, he does not have to make a special effort to restrain his senses. For such a devotee, the sense organs come under control of themselves. Suppose a man has just lost his son and is mourning his death. Can he be in a mood to quarrel with others that very day, or enjoy a feast in the house of a friend? Can he that very day show his pride before others or enjoy sense pleasures? If the moth discovers light, can it remain in darkness any longer? So it's a very interesting discussion, bhakti and jnana. Because doctor is a very rational-minded person, and he thinks that it is everything should be done by your effort, to make an effort to reach the goal, to do some sadhana or purification through discrimination. So Sri Ramakrishna is saying that if one surrenders in the bhakti path, just surrendering to God, the child, actually that is so true. It is so difficult. We think that bhakti is easy and jnana is difficult, or jnana is difficult, bhakti is... This is our misconception. To be a real bhakta, bhakta will think that there is somebody for me. What do I care for? We look at that suppose a child, how this child feels secured and happy when the child is in the lap of the mother. And the child, I've never heard that child has an anxiety problem. That is never heard. Because they don't know what is anxiety. Anything happens, they know mother is there, and they cry to mother, Ma, that's all. And mother knows what's the problem of the child, whether he needs to whether he is hungry, or he needs to have some medicine, or whatever needs a shower. Or it is everything mother does. So that is the idea Sri Ramakrishna is saying, that God holds the hand of the devotee. Childlike nature. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said childlike. Childlike is not childish. Childlike is a very beautiful term. There will be intelligence. They will be very intelligent. But they know that God is my protector. God is my support. And everything happens as a child complains, no? Any problem comes, look at the nature of the child. Anything happens, they run to mom. Mom, this has happened. Oh, he told me this way. Mom, this. So anything happens, runs to the mother and knows, I have complained to mother, bas, my problem is solved. So this is to be practiced in our spiritual life. Sometimes we think that we will do our spiritual practice by our own effort. That's why Bhagavad Gita in the 18th chapter, the last verses are ending. After talking so much powerful message, giving so much powerful message to fight and do all these things, but we are surprised that last verses are all talking about tasmat, in our tamevo saranam gaccha, sarva bhavena bharata. O Arjuna, take refuge in me alone, in all possible way, don't keep anything in your hand. Everything give it to me. Aham tvang sarva papebho. I guarantee you, I will free you, sarva papebho, from all types of sins, all types of misdeeds, all types of your karma. I will take care of it. Aham tvang sarva papebho mokshaishavi. I will free you, I will release you. I guarantee. That is my job. So that is called the Saranagati. Swami Turiyananda, whole life, only Vedanta, no? From starting, his very starting of the life started with Vedanta, no? He went to Ramakrishna, and Ramakrishna, he didn't visit. He said, what is going on? Oh, he is now steeped into the understanding of Vedantic truth, no? And Sri Ramakrishna sang a song in that conversation, Ore Kushi love, Koriski Gaurav. You, O Kushi, O love, the Rama's two children. Unless the Lord surrenders or becomes small and comes to the grip of you, can you hold them? Have you any freedom that you can bind them by your own power? It is only love. So it is a very high state of bhakti, devotion, where one can give everything to mother. Oh, Sri Ramakrishna's prayer is here. So it is really very pertinent to say, O mother, I throw myself on thy mercy. I take shelter at thy hallowed feet. Simple. I do not know anything. I throw myself as if I have no ego. I cannot do anything. I remember that one day, Swami, actually it is mothers doing everything. We don't understand that. Swami Shraddhananda Maharaj, when he visited one time, and towards the end, so one day he was to lecture. That morning, as he wanted to sing a song and explain that. That was his lecture. He thought that way. And he told me, can you find this first line is coming to my mind, but I cannot find out the song. I sang it so many times how many times I sang myself and I enjoyed this, but I am not getting it. So I tried to available books, the Bengali books and whatever available, and I could not make out that the song, particular song is not available there. And he was frantically exploring or meditating, contemplating to remember. At the point when he is lastly going for a lecture, he told me, mother said, as teaching me, you are nothing. Without my will, you cannot do anything. That conviction, and then he said, yes, Thakur said, even the leaf does not move without the will of God. No? So this is a Sharanagati, it's called the surrender. This total surrender is a very high level of spirituality. It is said that Sabgati in Sri Ramakrishna said in one place, Sabgati, Sesgati, Sharanagati. You make so many efforts to reach certain thing, to do certain thing, but the conclusive experience is that when you can totally surrender and nothing. That's why Sri Ramakrishna said, I take shelter at thy hallowed feet, be gracious and grand that I may have pure love for thee. So only like a child has pure love for mom. No? Ramakrishna said, child is playing with so many things and this and that. But when the time comes and the child starts crying, mama, and then you try to cajole him with so many things, but nothing you can convince, and he will cry and run for mother only. So this type of untainted love, unsmitten by any selfish earthly things and etc., that is a high state which is achieved. And discrimination is also, that's why he said that is also one way. Bhakti is not that it is not a very intelligent people, those who are learned people, they think this is very for the babies, this praying and then surrendering. But that may appear to a novitiate Vedanta student. But matured people all say surrender, surrender, surrender. So it's not contradictory at all. It is when people find that one cannot realize God by his own effort. How much discrimination you do, but it fails. And when every support system goes away, then only the surrender remains. So that's the Sri Ramakrishna said, it is not like that. Great sages have childlike natures. Before God, they are always like children. Ramakrishna himself is example. Anything comes, he goes to mother and asks, Ma, is it so? Noren says, these are all your hallucination. And he is going to mother, Ma, is it so? Huh? The Noren says that it is all hallucination. Then mother said, why you believe? Why you have to think about what Noren says? What is he does not understand. He is a young boy. And then he came and said, you rascal, you confused me. Mother said, no, these are all true. I won't listen. I won't take your words anymore. Like that, So this is how a mature person become like a child. That is to be seen in the life. That's why Sri Ramakrishna is so appropriate. What he is saying, It reflects in his, everything reflects in his life. And then doctor said that can one realize God without first controlling the senses? Yes, these are called adhikari, competent. Competent student. What is the competent student for a Vedanta? Vedanta Saro says that. Vedanta Saro says that Udhita Veda Vedangatena. He will have to read all the scriptures. You are a Vedanta student. You have to know all the Vedas and Vedangas, 6 systems, 6 auxiliary Vedas. Veda Vedangatena, Apatato Adhigato, Akhila Vedartha. Not only you read, you understand the significance of the Vedic texts, what you have read, and the Vedangas, which has been mentioned. So, apatato, you need not have to understand fully, but you understand roughly what does it mean. Apatato dhigato akhila vedartha. Asmin janmani, and yours should be so pure. Asmin janmani janma antareva, in this life or in your previous life. Kammo nishiddha varjana purassaram. You have given up all your activities related to the desire, fulfilling the desires of the immediate sensate experiences. You have given up all those. You are so pure that you don't have that craving. So, in this life and previous lives, Baba, where shall we find such a competent student? We all fail, according to the definition of Vedanta Saro, Sadananda Swami. Sadananda Swami's book says, and then you have to be pure, nikhila, and your heart should be pure from all blemishes. Nirmala Shanta, it should be so pure. Then that person will be adhikari, pramata. He is a competent student. But Swamiji also in the Bhakti Yoga says that bhakti, what is the criterion of a bhakti student? Only one thing. Bhakti student is one thing, I love God. I don't understand much, but I love God. So only one criterion, sincere craving for God. I don't know who is God. I do not know whether He is the creator of this universe and this and that, all those things. But I have heard that He is my mother, He is my father, Tameva Mata Chapita Tameva. You are everything of me. I do not know anything else. So you protect me, you take me, you care me, and everything is done. And they don't have this background that he should be so pure to come over here, and then he will get Brahma Jnana then. That's why the misunderstanding happens for Vedanta unless this qualification of the Vedanta is there. So, but Bhakti path is for all. And we have Swami Vivekananda in the Bhakti Yoga. You all know, Swamiji has pointed out that Bhakti is a natural phenomena in human life. We have some devotion, we have some love for something. We want to love so many things of the world. No one have to teach me that I know love. I know candy is good. I know ice cream is good. I love so many things. But this love is inherent in us. But the love for God, that makes a bhakta. So it is spontaneous, it is easy, and it is inherent in all personality. But that is the path for major spiritual seekers. And special spiritual seekers, few can be able to hold on to understand this higher. First you become pure, you have to follow the path of discrimination, and through that path one can reach God. Sri Ramakrishna says, yes, through that path also one can attain God. The Gyanis say that an aspirant must first of all purify his heart. First he needs spiritual experience, then he will have his knowledge. So if we really want to follow this path and want to get that wisdom, then condition is that first of all purify your heart. If I am purify my heart, then what grace is needed? That's why they think it comes by their effort. No one realizes God by your own effort. That the example goes now, chopping the tree. The woodcutter, when they chop the tree, they do 75% of the chopping is done, and they run away from the place. The tree falls of its own. So this is called the grace part comes there. You do your best as much as, and the Bhakti school is one beautiful idea. It gives us the feeling that I am doing, but it is not sufficient. I have no power. I cannot do any more. I am helpless. This helplessness is a quality in devotional practice. I am helpless. Please do help. Extend your hand. Hold me. Thakur said there are two attitudes in this context. One is the attitude of a kitten, and another is the attitude of a monkey, a baby monkey. So baby monkey wants to hold mother. It is your responsibility. Mother monkey will jump from one branch to the other branch. If the baby is not holding mother very strongly, then you may fall down and break your jaws or my hand. But see, the kitten does not know anything. Kitten only says mew, 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 as Ramakrishna said. And the mother monkey, mother cat, is the responsible. She takes the baby here and puts there. And Ramakrishna's example is very beautiful. He says sometimes the mother kitten is put into a beautiful bed somewhere, a soft bed, and sometimes to the ashes, upon the ashes, on the oven, in Indian oven, they're in the floor, they remain, and after cooking, ashes and wood, all is there, and to hide the baby, probably mother puts there. But the children, the baby cat, he has nothing to say. Only in difficulties, that baby calls mew, 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 ma, ma, ma. And in wherever they put, they depend on mother. So they are so happy, at least without going through all purification process. Of course it purifies. Those who can go to that level of surrender, it purifies. But starting point is not so dangerous or difficult, not dangerous but difficult. When you see, you come to be a student of Vedanta and this list of so many lists is given, tick, 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 tick. Are you ticked? You are not, get out. You are not a student. No? See, even Swami Vivekananda wanted to learn Vedanta, no? Look at that, how difficult is that? And he went to Uttarkasi and then Rishikesh, Dhanrajgiri. Dhanrajgiri was the great scholar and Mahamandaleswar of that day, among the like Pope in that community. And he went to learn Vedanta. And he was first asked, what's your name? Who has given you the name? What is your guru's name? And did you get formal initiation? Who? And are you born Brahmin? Boom. He said, no. So get out. You are not a student at all. You are not competent to be a student, to sit with the students. So see how difficult was it. But for the devotion, it does not have any discrimination. That's why any class, any status, educated, non-educated, or rich or poor, it is only craving. I love God, or I want to know God, I want to see God. This desire itself makes that difference. So doctor again says, of course, he gives the example, devotion is like the moth. The moth discovers the light and they don't analyze what will happen. They love the flame and fire, no? The moth, they will rush into the fire. That means the individual soul runs towards God and loses his identity into that divine love. God is like a flame power, which is love, which is light consciousness, which is bliss, consolidated love, blessings and consciousness. No? So there, these moths run. Devotees, they run like that and they kill themselves, but they are gone. And there remains only God remains in them. Because there is all their other identity easily lost. The force is the love. So Ramakrishna's example that there is such devotees, the darkness, the moth, like a moth, they run. It is like the devotees also do the same thing. Then doctor puts that question. Of course, it could be rather fly into the flame and perish. It would rather fly into the flame and perish. Master said, oh no, that's not so. A lover of God does not burn himself to death like a moth. A moth's example is that moth identity goes away. In the fire, love is a flaming fire, burning fire of love. Moths get naturally, given our normal experience, we see that when there is a fire, the moths go and just sacrifice themselves as it were. Why they go to die? Because there is an irresistible attraction. So Bhakta feels an irresistible attraction for God. And when he really goes so close, the Bhakta's ego, Bhakta's mind, everything, the old personality is gone. They become only pure and stainless, and they become one with God. So here, that Sri Ramakrishna is clarifying here, then it is not only they fly into the fire to kill themselves, to die. It is not mortification. It is not mortification. Devotion is not mortification. It is joy in every step. They take the name of the Lord, the tears will be flowing. Horripilation will come. It's every step, every movement is a joyous movement. That killing is a joyful killing. And that killing of the unripe ego, as Sri Ramakrishna mentioned in other places. So the light, here a lover of God does not burn himself, Sri Ramakrishna says. The lover of God does not burn himself into death like a moth. The light to which he rushes is like the light of a gem. He's saying that you gave the example of a flame, but to the eyes of the bhakti it is a gem. Gem also is a light, bright light, and moth may be attracted there also. So it is not burning, but it is all soothing. That death in God is soothing. That light is brilliant, no doubt, but it is also cooling and soothing. That light does not scorch his body, it gives him joy and peace. That's the beautiful analysis. And Dr. Sarkar is good. He puts question in such a way, very intelligently, and Sri Ramakrishna puts the inner significance of ordinary things which we see every time. Normally people give this example, but it will be in difficulty. If they say, "Arey, the moth is dying, I don't want to die, I want to live in the life." Ramakrishna said, "Ma, don't make me unconscious. I want to live with the devotees, I want to enjoy bhakti." No? But if you say that the moth moves like that, then moth is done. So how he will enjoy anything more? Is it, who knows, it is joyful death or burning death? But he says, no, don't think it is a flame, a burning flame, but it is like a gem. Gem radiates light, and its brightness is there. It is like cooling and soothing experience will come out of that. One realizes God by following the path of discrimination and knowledge. But this is an extremely difficult path. It is easy enough to say such things as, I am not the body, mind or intellect. I am beyond grief, disease and sorrow. I am the embodiment of existence, knowledge, bliss absolute. I am beyond pain and pleasure. I am not under the control of the sense organs. But it is very hard to assimilate these ideas and practice them. That you all understand. That does not mean that we will not say that. But as easy we think, Vedanta is easy. Yes, Vedanta is very easy. Because if I have no body identity, Vedanta is very easy. That is the truth. But to arrive that condition, I am not the body, but my stomach pain starts. Where is Brahman then? Our whole concept goes back to the body itself. So, how much we say, because our mind is not that purified by discrimination, analysis, serious, severe discrimination, austerity, self-control, all these basic qualities, if we have not that, then these words will be only intellectual words. That's why there Shankaracharya also criticized these pandits, they are pandits. Ramakrishna said, they are vultures. The vultures soar very high, but their mind remains in the, all the, what you call the dead bodies, and all filthy things. So Vedanta is to lift one person at the highest level, but that has its own requirement. But not that we should not do. That's why in Vedanta, in our Ramakrishna Vedanta, we want to use all these weapons. Sometimes be Vedanta, sometimes be Bhakta, sometimes be meditator, sometimes be Karma Yogi. So 24 hours maybe spiritual. So that is good idea. Ramakrishna came in this age to help us to make a quick journey into the infinite. So it is, Ramakrishna himself says, then it is easy enough to say such things, all this Vedantic idea, but it is very hard to assimilate these ideas and practice them. Suppose I see my hand cut by a thorn and blood gushing out, then it is not right for me to say, why my hand is not cut by the thorn, I am all right. You don't say that. That will be foolishness. No. You just take care of the hand when it is bleeding. So you have the relative truth and eternal truth. Paramarthik sattva, apekshik sattva. The technical term of the Vedanta is, one is paramarthik sattva. Eternally I am Brahman. Nothing, this finger cut or it is bleeding, I am not touched. But I am not in the paramarthik state, that state of absolute truth. But I am in the relative plane. And when my body identity is there, yes, hand, you have to take care of the hand. You have to put bandage, you have to go to doctor if it is necessary. So this is the balance. So in order to be able to say that, I must first of all burn the thorn itself in the fire of the knowledge. That means our knowledge should be developed. So practice should be done much more. Many people think they cannot have knowledge or understanding of God without reading books. Another thing, no? The people think that we have to read so many books. Yes, books help. Those who are intellectual nature, study clarifies the thing. But Sri Ramakrishna said, it is not. But hearing is better than reading. And seeing is better than hearing. Hearing about Benaras is different from reading about it. But seeing Benaras is different from either hearing or reading. That is the goal, no? So not to talk about, yes, talking is good when our mind is not tuned to divine thoughts. But words are words only. It can help us to clarify certain intellectual problems. But then second stage is coming, not hearing. The first is that it should be reading. And reading is better than seeing, is better than hearing. So 3 stages. One, we first hear. Ramakrishna gave the example. Someone has heard about the milk. Someone had seen the milk, someone has drunk the milk. And Turiya will be drinking the milk, assimilated it in the whole body. That is the perfect. That person can say, yes, what is milk like? But I have heard only of milk. A good description. Milk has so many good qualities, so many vitamins are available at one place you can get. These are good ideas. But that is not having any taste. I have no taste. And now seeing, I see milk. Wow! That's a spiritual life. Seeing some vision, experience. It's much important, much better than hearing all through and talking. Pandit, scholarly talk or scholarly discourses. It's much better. Yeah, that's why even you can see a little glimpse of that light, occasional. So that is much higher. And then assimilation, much more tuning our identity, forgetting our identity and being in that realm of experience. So that is the highest. So 3 states. Hearing, someone is heard about Benares, the Holy Land, is different from someone has read the description, read so much, but you hear someone who has visited and comes. That's why it is much, we get a greater understanding, better understanding if someone who visited and tells us. And then it is much different when we go and experience that. So this is the emphasis. Those actually engaged in a game of chess do not always judge the move. He moves on the board correctly. The onlookers often judge the moves better than the players. Worldly people often think themselves very intelligent, but they are unattached to the things of the world. They are the actual players and cannot understand their own moves correctly. But holy men who have renounced everything, are unattached to the world, they are really more intelligent than the worldly people, since they do not take any part in the worldly life. Their position is that of onlookers, and so they see things more clearly. That always it happens. Suppose someone comes to any one of us and talks about his or her problem. You, as a third person, you can give some judgment much better than the person who is involved into it. I am involved into some difficulty. Someone who is not involved like me, identified with the problems, but onlooker, that person can give a better verdict and better direction to solve the problem. So here also, this, though one is engaged into the world and worldliness, it's very difficult to come out and to get a correct understanding. But those who are little aloof, he is giving the example like the sadhus or devotees who are detached, they can understand the play of life and why it is going on, who is playing, becoming an observer. So, shall we end 45 minutes? Huh? Time is? So 45 naki. How long we read?
We usually read for half an hour or so.
Oh, so we are done then.
But you can ask questions.
Yeah. Okay. That will be good. So that is the point, that since last advice is that be onlooker in life. Things happen, we get involved into it. How to live in the world, not to get involved into it. Be there, but not get involved. It's very difficult, very not so easy to. It is easy to say, be there and don't get involved. But that is the skill. That makes a difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. That's a person who has realized certain amount of experience, truth, reached to certain extent, and those who have not. That is the spiritual practice. How to be in life, go through all these situations, but little detached. It has come, it has gone. Or as a devotee's attitude, God's will, it is happening, it has come. I accept. I love God, whatever comes in my life, I accept that as His blessings. So Rabindranath Tagore used to say that whatever comes, I experience this suffering in the heart which you have given me. It is your given gift. You are there in my heart. The experience is it is you. The situation which creates this experience, it is you. So it's all your play going on. So this type of devotee's attitude can be taken. Actually, we are all in the hand of the Divine Mother. So it is Mother's play going on. Let thy will be done. And to accept. That, of course, one thing must be clear. Not to accept, only accept, but to do our effort, whatever God has given our little intelligence, and then let go. So that is the way of freedom, onlooker, to be onlooker in life. Okay, we end here now. So if you have any question for a few minutes. What is the question?
What is the best way to increase your devotion?
Oh, what is the best way of increasing? Had I known. But yes, how to increase devotion? It is two things. The things which attracts me, to which my mind runs, we have to pause a little bit and think, what is this attraction for? In the Upanishad, that idea comes again and again. Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi, that I love anything in the world because of what? Because of the Atman. Or simply language, my beloved Lord is in other. No? So all our attraction, all our repulsion, even repulsion, that's because of God. So wherever I am attracted to whom? To whom? Who is inside. So as this is one way of expanding our love, and that is going to God. Because God in everywhere, my every attraction, my every repulsion is because of Him, His presence, or God's presence. That will extend my love. My love is going to other things. Why my total attention does not go to God? Because I love other things. As Swami Vivekananda says, I love so many things, I also love God. Out of 100 things I choose to be very much dear to me. And God is also one of the objects. But how to reduce that? Because I feel attracted, what shall I do? Let me have some attitude. I love whom? I don't love the dead body. I don't love the dead flower. I don't love the deep, dark, violent things. But I love something which is an attraction for me because of whom, whose glory, whose beauty, whose joy. So if we analyze this and try to think it is God, then that can extend, that our love can be deepened in one way. And another way is that we have to analyze the objects of the world in which we live to understand that they are actually changing objects of the world. It has no permanency. Even if it gives a momentary joy, it's followed by suffering, and then I cannot be satisfied there. Then where is the joy? Ramakrishna said, Gita says, Deho indriyo Vishaya Indriya Sangyogat. When there is a sense object, there is a sense object. The entire world is sense objects. Objects of the eyes, objects of the hearing, objects of the nose, object of the tongue, object of the touch. These are the 5 sense organs. They are corresponding subjects. But we get attached to these things. That's why mind does not go to something higher beyond these 5 senses. So, how we can transcend this? In 2 ways. First of all, if we go through the experience of the senses, let us go. But understand, I experienced this, but where is my peace? I tried this, I didn't get it. Even if I get it, it is so meaningless, so momentary. It is not worth trying again. To bring this experience and then think, can I get something higher? And then our prayers and meditation, that experience which we have little bit, we find that there is great joy. If I remember after a certain period of time that one day I had a good meditation, this thinking can give me a boosting. But when I have a good meal, good feast, or good sensate experience, I remember another day, it makes me depressed. What is this? This is so bad. That day it was such a good thing. One day's good experience is making me sad in another day, if I think about that, because that day is not that up to mark. But when it is happening the opposite way, you have a good, nothing, you have a good congregational music. You have sang with emotion, you have added your emotion and sang 10 people, you all sing together. And you feel, suddenly your mind may feel so much joy, upsurge of joy. You remember after 5 days, oh, that was a great joy. And see, your mind is going something higher. So we have to get these experiences, and not like a fool, but an intelligent person to teach myself. So mind, which direction you like to go? You have both options. You can go this way, you can go that way. Go. And you are, okay, you want more experience? Go. Have more experience. But like intelligent person, check it. Is it making you happier? Is it making the joy lingering? When I think after 10 days, suppose once I was in Belur and I had seen some Swami, or in his presence I felt something up. I remember after 30, 40 years, it gives me uplifting and my mind feels so much peace. But if the other things don't give, then our mind will have to thought, what you want, select. And mind will automatically come to the conclusion, no, this is better. To grow love that way. By experience and analysis, we can grow love. Or extending our so strong. Extending our identity, extending our thought that God is everywhere. And I love God only. Even I hate somebody, that is also my love. Why hate is a love? Because that is the beauty. Why do you hate? Why do you dislike someone? It is not up to my liking. I like up to this grade, I like. It is below that. It is not satisfying my expectation. So, if it is not satisfying, so there is that feeling of not satisfied is because of the consciousness behind, because of the presence of the divine. It is covered. The consciousness or the sun's light is covered in certain zone. When scattered cloud comes in the sky, we can experience that. In some place it is deep dark, sometimes it is faded, sometimes a little clear. So this is the point. Where I dislike, that is also their presence of God, but not up to my satisfaction, covered by a mind, devil mind, evil mind, selfish mind, egocentric life. So I don't like that. But when it matches my expectation, I feel joy. So this is the way we can increase our devotion and prayer. Simple formula is pray. Oh, I have no devotion. As Ramakrishna said, Mother, I have no devotion. I do not know. I have nothing. Please help me, help me, help me. And like we started our discussion today, like a kitten. Ma, ma, ma. And internally, you need not have to show it outside, but inner feeling should be like that. Everything is happening by the will of the divine. So whatever happens, happens. But and also, it is by her will. I want to be a child. I want to be innocent child of mother. So prayer, 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 and prayer. It's, as Ramakrishna said, if this prayer is sincere, God responds. But yes, it happens. Sometimes it may not, because our prayer is not sincere. People say sometimes, I prayed so much, but it didn't happen. There is some flaw maybe. But if it is really sincere, things happen. Even material things also happen. Because, the example is that if the baby is too much crying and weeping and jumping and howling, mom says, okay, Baba, you take it. Normally, mom says, no, it is not good for you, I won't give it, and you don't give it. But if the child pesters too much, mom gives, okay, go. So sincere prayer and real, and mother understands what is fake cry and what is real cry. No, one sadhu was jokingly saying that, Sri Ramakrishna did that, went to cut his throat, to do the sword. I am going to do that. His friend says, only you will cut yourself, mother will not appear there. Because your heart is not panting for God. Making a show will not do. So fake prayer no, prayer is prayer, but fake show of our love or real sincere craving, that is the point. And we have to try that, and it will increase. And mind will go towards God, Ramakrishna said, spontaneously, if the mind is pure. There is no other way, no other direction mind can go. If the mind is pure, it must have to run for God. And spontaneously it will go. Okay? So thank you all. Jai Ma.